Imagine diving into an ocean a billion years from now, where the water shimmers with an unnatural reddish hue under a bloated, dying sun. The waves lap against shores lined with jagged, rust-colored cliffs that weren't carved by wind or tide alone. Something alive built them layer by layer, from the blood of the earth itself. What if evolution, that relentless tinkerer, decided to forge bones from iron, turning fragile sea creatures into armored behemoths? Picture the seafloor stirring, not with sand but with metallic whispers, as microscopic life begins to hoard the ocean's hidden metals. This isn't fantasy. It's a glimpse into a future where chemistry and biology collide in ways that chill the spine. Deep-sea vents spew iron-rich plumes, and bacteria, those ancient survivors, start to weave it into their very being. Could these tiny architects be the harbingers of a metallic apocalypse lurking beneath the waves? Let's descend into the abyss, where darkness reigns and pressure crushes all but the hardiest souls. Here, around hydrothermal vents, real microbes already dance with iron today, oxidizing it into rust-red filaments that coat rocks like bloody veins. In our speculative tomorrow, these bacteria evolve further, biomining iron from seawater supercharged by volcanic fury and melting seabeds. They don't just tolerate metal. They crave it, incorporating ferrous oxides into their cell walls for strength and strange new powers. These iron-infused biofilms pulse faintly, generating tiny electric currents that ripple through the water like nervous signals. Scientists might detect them as anomalies on sonar, ghostly heartbeats from the deep. But what purpose do these pulses serve? Communication across vast distances, or something more sinister, like a hive mind awakening? The ocean floor hums softly, and you wonder if it's calling to something larger. Zoom in closer on these microbial marvels, and you'll see nature's quiet revolution unfolding cell by cell. Normally, bacteria build soft, organic shells, but these mutants lace theirs with magnetite and goethite, minerals tougher than steel yet flexible as cartilage. They form vast mats, kilometers wide, that conduct electricity like living wires snaking through sediment. Prey microbes get zapped by microshocks, while predators falter in the magnetic chaos these mats create. It's evolution's clever hack. Metal not as poison, but as weapon and shield. Yet, a shadow falls. These mats corrode slowly, flaking off red particles that drift upward, tinting the water like diluted blood. Divers in submersibles report instruments glitching nearby, compasses spinning wildly. Is the ocean fighting back, or inviting us deeper into its trap? Now, feel the unease building as these microbes don't stay small forever. They symbiosis with algae and plankton, passing on their metallic gift through food chains that twist into something alien. Tiny crustaceans emerge with exoskeletons gleaming like polished armor, their joints reinforced against the crushing depths. No longer do they flee predators. They stand firm, magnetic fields repelling attackers with invisible force. But at what cost? Internal rust threatens to seize their innards, demanding constant renewal through symbiotic bacteria that eat corrosion for breakfast. Schools of these ironclad swimmers create swirling magnetic storms, disrupting migrations of old-school fish. Echoes bounce back unnaturally sharp from their hulls, fooling sonar into seeing submarines where only life should be. What ancient instincts drive them to hoard more metal still? The mystery thickens as we follow the chain upward, where fish evolve to feast on these metallic morsels. Their vertebrae fuse with iron phosphates, granting bones that withstand bites that would shatter calcium relics. Scales turn to lamellar plates, overlapping like medieval chainmail, etched with conductive veins for sensing prey's electric twitches. These creatures glide with predatory grace, their bodies humming low frequencies that paralyze schools of softer kin. Imagine the horror of a chase. Water boiling with magnetic interference, prey convulsing as hunters close in. Yet, their eyes glow faintly phosphorescent, adapted to pierce abyssal dark. But what do they see that we cannot? Reports from deep-sea probes cut out abruptly near such schools, feeds filling with static snow. Is it mere malfunction, or deliberate jamming from beings who know they're watched? Deeper still, the vents birth larger horrors, where microbial colonies coalesce into worm-like tubes armored in pure hematite. These iron reefs pulse with bioelectricity, drawing in currents that power ecosystems of scavengers nibbling rust flakes. Coral analogues sprout, their skeletons self-healing through constant mineral deposition, shimmering like forbidden jewels. Electricity arcs faintly between spires during storms, lighting the dark with St. Elmo's fire underwater. Creatures cluster here for the energy buzz, but predators lurk, elongated eels with jaws of ferromagnetic teeth, clamping prey in unbreakable grips. The air, or water rather, thickens with a metallic tang even we might taste. Probes vanish into these labyrinths, never to return, their last transmissions garbled whispers. What ancient intelligence guards these forges of flesh and metal? As night falls eternally in the deep, consider the implications rippling outward. These metal microbes alter ocean chemistry globally, pulling iron from sediments and skies alike, birthing a new biogeochemical cycle. Plankton blooms turn rusty, skies above haze with aerosolized oxides, and surface life adapts or perishes. Fish with iron bones rise to midwaters, their shadows haunting fishing nets with unbreakable resistance. Magnetic anomalies plague navigation, ships veering off course toward unseen reefs. Humanity's drones probe tentatively, but many succumb to EMP-like bursts from below. The question gnaws. Are we witnessing life's triumph or its corruption into machine-like horror? Evolution whispers that metal bones are just the beginning, a prelude to oceans alive with clanking, rusting giants. Pause here, listener, as the red sun dips lower, casting bloody rays through iron-laced waves. We've only scratched the microbial surface of this metallic dawn, yet dread coils in the depths. What leviathans might these bacteria birth next, with hulls that laugh at our torpedoes? The ocean, once soft and yielding, hardens into a fortress of living steel. Sensors worldwide detect the first widespread pulses, coordinated, insistent spreading. Is it a symphony of survival or the drumbeat of invasion? Dive with me further, if you dare, for the metal bones awaken, and they hunger for more. Picture yourself plunging into the lightless void of the deep ocean, where hydrothermal vents roar like the planet's hidden furnaces, spewing superheated water laced with dissolved iron. Today, these vents already host bacteria that thrive on this metallic bounty, oxidizing ferrous iron into rust-red oxides that paint the seafloor in bloody streaks. But in tomorrow's ocean, swollen with iron from relentless volcanism and eroding seabeds, these microbes evolve into something far more ambitious. They don't merely survive the metal. They harness it, weaving iron minerals directly into their cellular frameworks for unprecedented resilience. Imagine vast colonies pulsing with faint bioelectricity, their surfaces crackling like living circuits in the crushing dark. What drives these tiny engineers to such extremes, and what signals do their electric whispers send through the water? Probes sent to investigate pick up erratic blips, as if the seafloor itself breathes with mechanical rhythm. Could this be the birth of a metallic consciousness stirring awake? Let's linger on these iron-hungry bacteria, real-world marvels like Zetaproteobacteria that already form shimmering mats around vents by precipitating iron oxides into twisted sheaths. In our speculative future, rising iron concentrations supercharge their metabolism, turning them into biominers that extract and refine ferrous compounds with surgical precision. They produce siderophores, molecular chelators that rip iron from insoluble particles, funneling it into organic matrices tougher than chitin. These enhanced microbes cluster into biofilms kilometers across, their collective mass generating weak magnetic fields that warp compasses from afar. Divers report a metallic tang in the water, acrid and alive, long before instruments confirm the anomaly. But why do these fields fluctuate in patterns mimicking neural firings? Submersibles hovering nearby suffer glitches, lights flickering as invisible forces probe their hulls. Is the abyss testing intruders, or merely humming its own ancient song? Delve deeper into their alchemy. These bacteria oxidize Fe2 to Fe3, using enzymes like Psych2, stacking the oxides into conductive lattices that channel electrons like nanowires. Symbiosis blooms as they partner with sulfur oxidizers, trading iron for energy in a geochemical dance that reshapes local chemistry. The result? Semiconductive mats that harvest vent heat, powering chemosynthesis on a massive scale and birthing ecosystems from rust alone. Yet corrosion lurks as their shadow twin, flaking red particles that drift like spectral snow, clogging filters and tinting the water crimson. Sonar maps reveal unnatural structures rising slowly, tendril-like formations twisting toward vents. What intelligence guides their growth, defying random evolution? Occasional EMP bursts fry nearby electronics, leaving researchers staring at blank screens in chilled silence. The deep seems to guard its secrets with electric jealousy. Now, sense the creeping dread as these microbial hives begin to communicate, their bioelectric pulses synchronizing across vents separated by miles of void. Gamma proteobacteria and their kin join the chorus, deploying ton-B transporters to scavenge iron from plume particles, amplifying the signal strength. These pulses might coordinate nutrient flows or warn of predators, but their complexity hints at emergent awareness. A hive mind forged in metal and current. Plankton drifting overhead absorb the iron, glowing faintly under black lights, their descent seeding surface blooms of rusty hue. Humanity's deep-sea rigs detect the interference first, pipelines humming with induced currents that corrode from within. Questions haunt the night watches. Are these signals invitations or threats? Lost drones transmit fragments of distorted audio, low moans like grinding gears, before vanishing into the mat. The ocean floor conceals more than minerals. It hides an awakening network. Feel the water thicken with tension as rival microbes clash in iron wars, their magnetic fields clashing like invisible swords over scarce resources. Winner-take-all battles leave battlefields of oxidized wreckage, where defeated colonies dissolve into nutrient soups for victors. Evolution accelerates, favoring strains that weaponize conductivity, zapping competitors with targeted shocks. Vast mats undulate subtly, propelled by electrochemical gradients, creeping toward richer vents like predatory amoebas. Bathymetric scans capture the motion, blurring edges that shift overnight. What urges fuels this slow invasion, and how far will it spread? Surface ships above report compass deviations pulling toward seamounts, as if summoned. In the control rooms, unease spreads faster than the mats themselves. Transitioning seamlessly, witness how these foundational forges influence larger life. But pause on the microbe's hidden peril. Unchecked iron buildup sparks reactive oxygen species, poisoning their own cells. They counter with fur regulators, finely tuning uptake to flirt with toxicity's edge. This balance births diversity, specialized castes for mining, defense, and repair, mirroring ant societies in bacterial scale. Electric gradients draw in symbiotic partners, algae harnessing the power for photosynthesis in eternal night. Anomalous heat signatures puzzle oceanographers, plumes warmer than geology predicts. Do the mats incubate something vast beneath? Recovered probe husks bear scratch-like etchings, unexplained and unnerving. The mystery coils tighter, promising revelations laced with terror. As global iron cycles tilt under microbial dominance, sediments release ancient stores, fueling exponential growth that blankets mid-ocean ridges. Plumes carry spores worldwide, seeding new vents with metallic pioneers. Atmospheric iron aerosols haze the skies, dimming stars with rust veils. Fishing trawls snag indestructible tangles, hauling up pulsating chunks that writhe in nets. Navigational charts obsolete overnight as fields remap themselves. Whispers among scientists grow. Is this life's bold adaptation or prelude to oceanic mechanization? Faint global hums register on seismographs, synchronized to vent eruptions. Humanity peers down, sensing kin to our machines rising unbidden. Hold your breath as the pulses intensify, a symphony building to crescendo from microbe to monolith. We've unveiled the architects of iron's reign, but shadows lengthen toward greater behemoths. What skeletal wonders will symbiosis birth from this electric cradle? The vents bellow approval, iron plumes curling like beckoning fingers. Dare we follow into the metallic embrace, or flee the rusting tide? Sensors worldwide synchronize, a chorus echoing from the core. The future ocean whispers your name through conductive veins. Listen closely, for the metal microbes march onward, heralds of a hardened abyss. From the microbial mats of Act II emerge the first multicellular harbingers of steel, creatures that swallow iron-laden bacteria whole and forge them into skeletal strongholds. Picture fish whose spines gleam with iron phosphate crystals, denser than any bone evolution ever dreamed before. These aren't fragile swimmers. They're living battering rams, plated in magnetite scales that shrug off crushing jaws. Real deep-sea snails like Chrysomalin squamiferae already wear iron sulfide armor from vent fluids, hinting at nature's metallic playbook. But in this future sea, iron floods every niche, compelling vertebrates to reinvent their frames from the inside out. Jaws clamp with bone-shattering force, tails whip magnetic wakes that stun prey mid-flight. Sonar pings return impossibly sharp, as if submarines prowl the shallows instead of fish. What evolutionary frenzy drove flesh to crave rust, and what ghosts echo in their armored hulls? Descend with me to witness these iron skeletons in motion, their bodies a symphony of bioengineered might. Vertebrae fuse into unyielding girders, laced with goethite for flexibility amid ferocity. Gills filter iron straight from water, fueling hemoglobin variants that pulse crimson through translucent fins. Predators test their mettle on softer kin, but bites glance off like sparks on anvil steel. Electric fields ripple from their flanks, mapping hidden prey through sediment murk. Divers' tails whisper of shadows too dense for fish, hulks that hum with inner power. Instruments spike wildly nearby, needles burying in red zones before screens go black. Do these beasts sense our probes, jamming signals with willful malice? Feel the awe twist toward dread as schools assemble, their collective magnetism brewing storms that scramble migrations. Ancient placoderms like Dunkleistus once ruled with bony plates, but these successors elevate the game to ferrous perfection. Joints lubricated by corrosion-resistant mucus glide silently, conserving energy for ambush surges. Prey convulses in induced currents, easy pickings for mouths ringed in ferromagnetic teeth. Bathymetric charts warp overnight, canyons alive with unnatural echoes bouncing eternal. What compels them to cluster so, forming phalanxes that pulse as one? Lost ROVs transmit final frames of gleaming flanks closing in, lights winking out. The deep harbors legions, awakening to coordinated rhythm. Now ponder the double-edged sword of such might. Iron boosts strength yet invites oxidation's slow sabotage within. Symbiotic microbes, inherited from vent forebears, patrol veins, devouring rust before it seizes hearts. This pact binds host and horde, a fragile truce in blood-hot wars. Failures litter seafloors, rust-caverned husks picked clean by opportunists. Survivors grow bolder, venturing into shallows where pressure eases but rivals abound. Magnetic signatures betray them to electrosensitive hunters, sparking brutal skirmishes. Faint clangs register on hydrophones, metal on metal in abyssal duels. Is evolution sharpening swords or forging chains of dependency? Envision a lone ironfish gliding through midnight blue, its plates etched with conductive filigree sensing every twitch afar. Bioluminescent lures dangle not for light, but to magnetize minnows into fatal thrall. Acceleration defies physics, streamlined hulls cleaving water at torpedo speeds. Armor withstands implosive depths where titanium buckles, secrets locked in nanoscale lattices. Yet eyes betray unease, pupils dilating at phantom fields from kin. Probes capture thermal ghosts, bodies radiating excess from metabolic furnaces. Whispers among crews. Do they mourn fallen brethren with synchronized dirges? The ocean's pulse quickens, heralding escalation. As canyons fill with these metallic migrants, ecosystems tilt toward ferrodominance. Plankton armors thin shells, krill forge needle spines, all ascending the iron ladder. Apex fish lord over reefs, their shadows cowing ancient soft bodies into hiding. Global magnetometers twitch, registering deep migrations like planetary arrhythmia. Trawlers haul armored prizes that thrash with unnatural vigor, snapping cables. What hubris birthed such impervious life, mocking our steel nets? Anomalous wrecks pile up, submersibles crushed like tin amid debris fields. Humanity's gaze pierces deeper, craving yet fearing the reflection. Tension mounts with each discovery. These skeletons generate fields potent enough to levitate iron filings in lab tanks. Navigation falters fleet-wide, compasses enslaved to abyssal tyrants. Fish evolve countershields, insulating flesh from lethal overloads. Breeding grounds hum choruses that lure mates across oceans or summon packs to feasts. Juveniles shed calcium husks for iron rebirth, rituals veiled in phosphor glow. Seismographs catch tremors from their thunderous hunts, quakes without fault. Do rival clans wage magnetic Armageddon below? Feeds end in static screams of bending metal. Pause amid the mounting storm, for these steel skeletons herald greater colossi stirring in reef shadows. Magnetic maelstrom brew unexplained, ripping drones from tethers into void. Their legacy corrupts the food web, every bite a step toward total metallization. Evolution races unchecked, whispering of hulls that breathe and hunt. Dare we map the source of canyon pulses, or seal the vents forever? Iron bones multiply, a clanking tide rising relentless. The future sea hardens, and soft life fades to memory. Listen, the depths reply with grinding resolve. Beneath the roiling surface of the future ocean, strange formations catch the light, gleaming structures of living iron built by countless tiny architects working in synchrony. These are the iron reefs, a mesmerizing fusion of biology and geology, where rust hues gleam and pulse with faint electrical resonance. Here, iron-oxidizing bacteria, evolved from today's deep-sea dwellers, cultivate dense mats that harden into sculpted reefs, resisting the crushing pressures of the abyss. Unlike familiar coral reefs, these metallic citadels hum with electromagnetic energy, a subtle song that resonates through the water and disturbs passing sensors. The origin of their strange vibrations is unknown, evoking both awe and unease in scientists who venture near. How did these iron churches rise from the black depths? And what secrets do their glowing spires conceal beneath their shimmering surfaces? These iron-rich microbial mats inhabit zones where hot, mineral-laden fluids seep slowly through ocean crust fractures, mixing with cold seawater to create unique chemical cauldrons. Within these gradients, iron-oxidizing bacteria, such as Zetaproteobacteria, harvest energy by converting ferrous iron dissolved in vent fluids into solid iron oxides, producing orange-red deposits that form the reef's backbone. This iron-based metabolism, unlike photosynthesis, thrives in perpetual darkness by tapping chemical energy from the earth itself. Over years, layered mineral deposits grow, encapsulating microbes and the organic matter they secrete, cementing robust reef architectures. These structures shield diverse microbial communities, each playing roles from nutrient cycling to detoxification. Yet, hidden beneath this apparent harmony lingers a slowly corroding menace, as oxidation processes threaten to degrade these living stones from within. How do these reefs maintain the delicate balance between growth and decay in a hostile environment? Vibrant and eerie, these metallic reefs buzz faintly with electrical currents created by semiconductive biofilms coating their surfaces. These biofilms act like living circuits, channeling electrons through networks of microbial cells. Some researchers speculate that these pulses may coordinate chemical production or signal colony health, an underground messaging system too subtle for human senses. Yet, approaches of scientific instruments measure rising magnetic field strengths near these beds, distorting compass readings and scrambling communication signals. Drones sent to inspect break down unexpectedly, instruments overwhelmed by unseen forces. Is the reef a natural wonder or a sentient fortress shielding its microbial creators? The reef's electromagnetic hum is a haunting reminder that this metal kingdom operates on physics alien to the familiar ocean world. Beyond the microbes, iron flakes slew from these reefs, crumbling into rust-colored particles and drifting as ghostly snow across the seabed. These flakes serve as nutrients, feeding specialized scavengers and creating an ecosystem fueled by corrosion and regeneration cycles. Just like ancient coral atolls host diverse marine life, these metallic reefs support communities of crustaceans with jaws adapted to crush iron flakes, worms that burrow to avoid magnetic fields, and fish with scales reflecting eerie, rust-like glows. Biologists are baffled by interactions within this ecosystem, observing cycles of rapid growth, punctuated by sudden decay episodes that resemble epidemics. What unseen forces dictate life and death in this metallic twilight? The unsettling beauty of these corroded forests hints at both ecological resilience and an enigmatic fragility. Humanity's exploration of these metallic realms is fraught with challenge. Research vessels deploying drones report magnetic interference far beyond expected norms, with instruments freezing mid-survey or vanishing without trace. Scientists speculate that microbial mats and mineral formations act like electromagnetic snares, possibly as defense mechanisms evolved to repel predators or competitors. Video feeds occasionally glitch into static unexplained by technical faults, leaving glimpses of vast, tentacle-like structures moving just beyond light reach. Do these iron reefs harbor unknown guardians, living machines born from microbial industry? The ocean holds its cards close, beckoning explorers with both treasure and terror. Each expedition draws researchers deeper into unsettling mystery, questioning the limits of life's adaptability. Recent studies of the biogeochemical cycles around these reefs reveal complex feedback loops where iron, sulfur, and oxygen interplay dynamically. Iron-oxidizing bacteria act as ecosystem engineers, controlling sediment chemistry and habitat formation. The reefs participate actively in the ocean's mineral budgets, cycling metals locally while influencing global processes. This microbial alchemy impacts everything from water acidity to nutrient availability, shaping nearby biological communities and perhaps Earth's climate. Yet the reef's resilience is precarious. Perturbations like temperature shifts or acidity spikes threaten to destabilize mineral layers, unleashing sudden breakdowns. Could environmental changes turn these living metal fortresses into crumbling wastelands? The future of these reefs hangs on knife-edge balances underscored by delicate chemical wars invisible to the naked eye. Amid the shadows of this metallic world, biology and geology blend in ways that challenge definitions. These iron reefs blur lines between living organism and mineral monument, crafting habitats forged from rust and electric spark. They erase boundaries between animate and inanimate, forging a new class of ecosystem that transforms the seafloor. Researchers hypothesize that symbiotic relationships with sulfur-oxidizing bacteria stabilize these communities, mediating sulfur cycles in tandem with iron metabolism. Such complexity mirrors ancient banded iron formations deposited over Earth's history, suggesting echoes of primordial oceans. What do these enigmatic reefs reveal about life's tenacity and the planet's future? They stand like alien cities where every structure hums with unseen energy, defying comprehension. The strange glow of these iron reefs extends a silent invitation into a deepening mystery. What evolutionary pressures gave rise to metal-harvesting microbes so adept at engineering mineral fortresses? Could the electrical pulses represent a primitive form of communication, a collective intelligence in infancy? Scientists grapple with the possibility that these reefs serve as ecological keystones, regulating deep-sea metal fluxes and supporting novel life forms. As explorations continue, unexpected findings forever transform our vision of life's boundaries underwater. This intersection of metal and biology inspires awe tinged with foreboding, suggesting oceans once thought lifeless below sunlit depths harbor entirely unique worlds. We peer through murky waters into a realm where metal bones and electric souls pulse in tandem. As new missions prepare to dive deeper, technology races to keep pace with the reef's enigmatic defenses. Autonomous drones with magnetic shielding venture cautiously into shimmering labyrinths of iron and rust. Each data packet retrieved enriches understanding but heightens uncertainty, revealing a biosphere dancing on the edge of science and science fiction. The mysteries of these iron reefs, their formation, their currents, and their creatures, invite ongoing wonder and unease. What lies beyond their glowing edges? In darkness so profound it chills the spirit. The ocean's hardening heart beats on, a living legend forged in metal, echoing for 1 billion years into an uncertain future. In the shadowy depths of our future oceans, evolution gives birth to massive creatures clad in iron armor, transforming predators into biomechanical leviathans. These enormous beasts, forged in pressures and iron-rich waters, Wheeled skeletons not of fragile calcium, but of dense iron phosphate and magnetite. Picture creatures moving with slow, mesmerizing power, joints glinting with metallic toughness as scales shimmer like burnished steel. Their anatomy recalls ancient armored fish like Dunkleistus from Earth's Devonian era, but amplified by billions of years of geochemical abundance and microbial collaboration. These leviathans are no mere fish. They are living tanks, with electrosensory antennae flickering across their armored snouts, detecting faint disturbances in the magnetic fields around them. What drives life to trade flexibility for invulnerability? And do these iron bones hum with quiet intelligence or ancient instinct? Imagine descending alongside these iron monsters as they glide through the crushing abyss, their bioarmors groaning softly under crushing pressure. Their skeletal frames fuse with bioengineered lattices of iron compounds, granting resilience unmatched in earthly marine fauna. Beneath their layered plating, soft tissues throb with an eerie phosphorescence, hinting at metabolism fueled by iron oxidation and microbial symbiosis. Their electrosensory antennae vibrate with the slightest change in magnetic fields, mapping prey invisible to conventional senses. These leviathans emit low-frequency hums, electromagnetic pulses rippling outward like sonar ghost waves, disrupting electronic surveying devices and leaving navigation instruments useless in their presence. When a submersible probes too close, signals spike wildly. The armored giants respond with silent warnings or unseen maneuvers, vanishing into the dark waters. Could these magnetic titans be the ocean's ultimate hunters, stalking mysteries beyond human grasp? Witness the eerie ballet of hunting and defense as these armored behemoths use their magnetic prowess to dominate prey. Powerful electric fields ripple along their flanks, paralyzing smaller creatures or guiding schools into traps laid with precision. Their jaws, armed with ferromagnetic teeth stronger than the hardest alloys, snap shut with bone-crushing force that shatters calcium skeletons like brittle glass. Prey convulse in induced currents. Waters boil with the static charge of their hunt. In response, some prey species evolve magnetic camouflage, soft-bodied dwellers capable of manipulating surrounding fields to mask their location. Yet many fall, their remains tangled within the metallic reefs below. Sonar echoes reveal distorted, complex shapes, blurring the boundaries between living creatures and architectural marionettes of iron and electricity. Is this a war of flesh against metal, or a symbiosis born of necessity? Despite their formidable strength, these leviathans live under constant threat from corrosion, as rust slowly eats at their iron skeletons. They battle this decay through mutualism with corrosion-controlling microbes inherited from vent communities, bacteria that consume rust and repair damaged plating from within. This delicate partnership sustains the skeleton's integrity, but failure to maintain it means a tragic ossuary marked by rust holes and collapse. The balance between survival and decay creates evolutionary pressure for ever more efficient microbial custodians. Some leviathans develop biofilms that glow faintly with bioluminescence, used to signal health or readiness to mates through shifting colors. Could the ocean floor be littered with rusting giants who failed this microbial pact, lost to corrosion and scavengers? The shadow of decay adds a fragile undertone to their iron grandeur. Picture these armored monsters brooding over their territories as electromagnetic storms swirl, disrupting navigation across vast underwater plains. Their massive forms create tremors that ripple through basalt canyons and sediment plains, echoes of their hunts felt for kilometers. These hunters congregate in loose clusters, each using their magnetic fields to communicate or challenge rivals in clashes of force and pulse. Faint electric whirls spiral outward, weaving a cartography of power and presence invisible to human eyes. Autonomous sensors placed near their hunting grounds record records of disturbances resembling machine-generated signals, hinting at communication and coordination. Lost research craft, overwhelmed by magnetic interference, serve as eerie reminders of the Leviathan's dominion. Are these gatherings ritual displays of dominance or strategic alliances forged in electric currents? The story darkens as we explore the internal conflicts and pressures within these biomechanical titans. Their iron bones, while indomitable, require constant renewal through metabolically costly microbial activity. Failure to sustain this upkeep results in internal rust spikes, calcified iron deposits that choke nerves and restrict motion. These biological crises force leviathans into secluded nurseries where younger symbiotic bacteria and algae assist in skeletal renewal, revealing ancient, carefully evolved technology of survival. Yet these vulnerable periods invite predators, the smaller, aggressive armored fish and opportunistic scavengers that feast on weakened giants. These fragile moments of biological metallurgy hint at a hidden cycle of birth, death, and renewal beneath the immense armor. What dark ecosystems bloom within these mechanical fortresses? Feel the chilling intensity as one leviathan vanishes into the abyssal darkness, its silhouette a monolith against faint bioluminescent reefs. Hunters tuned to its electromagnetic signature falter, disoriented by sudden silence. Navigation systems on research vessels swing erratically, instruments betraying proximity to the beast long after it disappears from sonar. Fishermen with deep-sea nets recount tales of glowing eyes reflected in dark waters, sudden shipboard malfunctions, and invisible forces tugging at lines. Is the Leviathan aware of observers, or oblivious to human curiosity? The boundary between watcher and watched blurs, breeding a quiet unease that pervades scientific expeditions. The ocean conceals its iron giants well, revealing glimpses only to those brave or unlucky enough to be close. These iron-armored leviathans embody the extremity of nature's will to endure, sculpted by geochemistry, biology, and unseen microbial alliances into breathtaking machines of flesh and metal. Their silent reign shapes the future ocean's food webs, predator-prey dynamics, and electromagnetic landscapes. They challenge our definitions of life and machine, a Gothic fusion of evolution and metallurgy writ large on oceanic canvases. As research delves deeper, each discovery illuminates new questions about the origins of intelligence and adaptation in the metallic deep. Could these biomechanical wonders evolve beyond instinct, developing collective strategies or symbiotic networks rivaling human technology? What tales do their iron bones hold of ancient seas and futures still unwritten? Finally, the iron leviathans provoke a mirror held up to humanity. Creatures shaped by iron's relentless force, inhabiting a world increasingly infused with metal. Our own reliance on iron tools and structures at sea finds unnatural kinship in these titans' metallurgical bodies. Their slow glides and powerful pulses echo human-made submarines but speak of life's stubborn defiance and unexpected blooms beneath crushing pressure. As we peer into this hardened ocean, questions arise about the boundaries of life, intelligence, and evolution itself. What does it mean when living bones become iron and nature crafts machines from its own blood? The future whispers promises and warnings in equal measure, shimmering beneath waves of rust and mystery. As the iron leviathans fade into abyssal shadows, humanity steps tentatively into this metallic future ocean, our own metal dependencies mirroring nature's bold evolution. We've forged tools from iron since the Stone Age, building cities of steel that pierce skies and ships that conquer waves. Now, deep-sea exosuits clad explorers in titanium shells, pressurized against the void where living iron rules unchallenged. These suits hum with servos and sensors, echoing the electromagnetic pulses of the beasts below. Scientists in control rooms watch feeds flicker, hearts pounding as drones capture glimpses of rusting giants gliding past. What if our machines awaken kin in the deep, blurring lines between crafted artifact and evolved flesh? The ocean reflects our metallurgy back at us, distorted through currents of blood-red water. Do we intrude as gods or as fragile interlopers in evolution's forge? Picture the first dives into iron reefs, where submersibles creak under magnetic onslaughts from microbial mats pulsing like vast neural nets. Divers in exosuits report visors fogging with metallic vapor, instruments chirping warnings of field spikes that tug at ferrous tools. Real-world snails like Chrysomalin squamiferum already don iron sulfide armor at vents, their shells a blueprint for tomorrow's titans. Humanity adapts with Faraday cages and non-magnetic alloys, yet glitches persist, cameras inverting colors, thrusters stuttering in induced whirlpools. Controllers above whisper prayers as feeds show armored leviathans circling curiously, their electrosensory whips tasting human tech. Is this curiosity or calculation a predator sizing up new prey? The boundary between observation and confrontation thins with every descent. Our steel hearts beat faster, sensing kinship laced with dread. Generations of oceanographers evolve alongside this metallic realm, their rigs plated in experimental iron composites inspired by deep-sea biology. Platforms sway above humming canyons, pipelines snared by magnetic anomalies that mimic submarine warfare. Exosuits upgrade with biomimetic plating, laced with vent bacteria to self-heal microcracks from pressure waves. Yet corrosion creeps insidious, mirroring the Leviathan's eternal struggle against rust within. Crews share ghost stories of shadows too vast for known species, sonar ghosts with hull densities defying physics. What ancient placoderm echoes resound in these modern behemoths? Dunkleistus reborn in iron abundance. Night shifts fill with unease as hydrophones capture grinding symphonies from below. Humanity's metal marriage deepens, binding us inexorably to the abyss. Feel the philosophical chill as parallels emerge. Nature hoards iron for bones just as we forge it for bones of our machines. Submersibles with AI pilots learn to jam Leviathan fields, mimicking reef defenses in electronic warfare. Divers harvest microbial samples, culturing symbiotic cleaners for suit maintenance, a Faustian exchange with the deep. But samples writhe unnaturally in tanks, sparking mini EMP bursts that fry lab equipment. Questions haunt briefings. Does evolution mock our industrial revolution, turning oceans into foundries of flesh? Exosuit pilots describe euphoria laced with terror, gliding among schools of iron fish whose pulses sync to human heartbeats. Are we converging with this world, or dissolving into it? The red sun above casts foreboding light on waves thick with oxide haze. Tensions escalate with territorial skirmishes, where Leviathans ram survey drones, crumpling titanium like foil in boneplate embraces. Rescue missions deploy swarms of mini-subs, only for magnetic maelstrom to scatter them into reef labyrinths. Engineers retrofit vessels with pulse generators, broadcasting reef songs to pacify the giants. Success breeds hubris. Expeditions push boundaries, netting juveniles whose struggles snap cables like threads. In Bayside labs, dissected specimens reveal skeletons pulsing faint currents post-mortem, as if clinging to stolen life. What vengeful intelligence lingers in iron lattices, defying death's finality? Crew morale frays with reports of phantom tugs on anchors, shadows pacing hulls through stormless nights. The ocean claims tribute in twisted metal and shaken resolve. Reflective horror grips the scientific community as global iron cycles shift, skies dimming with aerosol plumes from reef activity. Climate models incorporate biometallurgy, predicting rust rains that corrode coastal infrastructure. Nations race for deep rights, militarizing exosuits into armored legions probing territorial depths. Ethical debates rage. Harvest the microbes for unlimited clean energy, or unleash uncontrollable proliferation. Divers return changed, eyes haunted by Leviathan gazes that pierce visor gloom. Do they see us as rivals, kin, or sustenance in this shared iron destiny? Seismic arrays detect coordinated quakes from mass migrations, harbingers of oceanic realignment. Humanity stands at evolution's mirror, transfixed by our rusting reflection. In moonless anchorages, captains pore over logs of vanished craft, hulls found barnacle-free but etched with ferromagnetic scratches. Conspiracy murmurs spread. Leviathans farming human wrecks for stray iron, scavenging our fallen tech. Breakthroughs emerge, neural interfaces linking pilot minds to reef pulses, granting glimpses of alien sensory worlds. Writers describe vast cathedrals of humming metal, Leviathans as cathedrals congregations in eternal vigil. Yet overloads sear synapses, leaving catatonics muttering of grinding gears and crimson tides. What forbidden knowledge seeps upward, corroding sanity like rust eats bone. The partnership teeters, promising transcendence or annihilation. Our metal legacy entwines with theirs, a duet of creation and decay. Gaze skyward from rust-veiled shores as the bloated sun sets on hybrid seas, where biology and technology dissolve into one. We've descended as conquerors, emerging symbiotic or subsumed in iron's embrace. Evolution whispers that flesh yields to metal, mirroring our silicon dreams beneath waves. Leviathans breach rarely now, silhouetted against polluted horizons, their roars blending with ship horns. Final question lingers like corrosion's bite. When nature claims our elements for its bones, does ocean remain realm of life or forge of eternal machines? Probes return etched warnings in unexplained script, magnetic runes glowing faintly. Dread and wonder coalesce in this metallic twilight, binding human fate to abyssal pulse. The future ocean awaits, hardened and hungry,